recording, and let's do an audio check, and we are going to do voice sync matches. 3, 2, 1. Match my lips. Match my lips. Now that seems goofy, but it's kind of required, so that way it,
syncs up right.
Syncs up correctly. Yeah. All right. We're going to do the actual video recording in 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? My name is Derek with FatPlanetLP, and I'm joined by a few people of my crew here. We got Mrs. Pam Duncan, who horribly misspelled Fat Planet at the bottom, but we won't say anything about that. For Toolbar. Of course, we got Emerald Stars, a.k.a. Jasmine. How you doing, sweetie?
I'm good.
We've got a new member with us. This is Fup Nation, longtime subscriber for FatPlanetLP. What's going on, buddy?
Hello, hello, hello.
And we got the ever-popular Dark Ritual 111111117.
What's up?
A.k.a. Baron. I don't have a popular tagline to go with you, so all right, so we'll come up with something. A lot of yeah, that's right. And then Pam is wearing her her dinosaur hat right there, and
that's my dinosaur hat, and I'm wearing it because
proudly.
of the game we're playing.
Yes, she is. She's wearing it for full support of Beast of Prey. So that one's for you, devs. She got the hat specifically for you to honor the making of your game. So we'll go ahead and we'll stare at it. We'll keep her on the screen for a little bit so you guys can get a good look at it. that cute little pink dinosaur. It doesn't necessarily look like a dinosaur. It kind of looks like a squid is sitting on your head.
Yeah.
I think you muted your mic again, Pam. You might want to check that button one more time. And
that's like his body back there, but
there
my
we go.
headset's messing it up, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right, well, pretend it's a dinosaur, folks, because that's what it's intended to be. So today's podcast, of course, this is the June 10th, 2014 podcast, and we're going to talk about a few little things today. Of course, it's always going to be Beast of Prey, because that's what the podcast is about. A lot of you seem to like the podcast, and the developers themselves actually watch it, so thanks a lot for your support as well, guys, and we're glad to help out with the development of this game. We're very excited about it. First and foremost, the very first thing that I do want to say, we were attempting to actually make an LP video on the one of the public servers last night, but we had some recording issues, and I was going to take care of this specific little shout out at that point, but due to the issues, we weren't able to get that out. So we are a day late. Actually, we're 2 days late now, unfortunately, by the time this podcast actually goes out. But I just wanted to do a quick shout out to a 9-year-old boy, just recently 9 years old as of 2 days ago, and that's to my buddy Sawyer. Happy birthday, buddy. I'm sorry I didn't get to say happy birthday to you on the day, but it's better late than never. So big happy birthday from the Fat Planet LP, the entire crew, and from your father as well. So happy birthday, buddy. I hope you had a really good one. Again,
happy
celebrating.
Birthday, Sawyer.
Happy
Happy
birthday!
Happy birthday!
Again, celebrating his 9th birthday. So you're getting old, buddy. You're pretty soon.
Almost double digits.
Yeah, here pretty soon you're gonna be paying bills and stuff. So stay young for as long as you can. All right. So what are we gonna talk about on today's podcast? Well, we got some reoccurring bugs. That's a big problem that a lot of the forum is talking about right now. We're gonna go over those. We're also going to talk about a new dedicated server that is up for Beast of Prey. And then we're going to talk about a few other things. It's going to be a shorter podcast than last time. This is not going to be an hour and a half. This is probably going to be around the half-hour mark, maybe even less. So that way, hopefully, you guys can watch the entire thing. I know an hour and a half was a little bit long for some of you guys last time. So what's the very first thing? What's the biggest thing that's going across the Beasts of Prey forums right now? Well, it's going to have to be the actual spawn rates of the rocks. A lot of people find that it's almost unplayable right now because of the current spawn rates. And I know myself, Dark Ritual, and Emerald were attempting to play this morning on the public server to get a video up. And we played for, literally, and I mean quite literally, we played for 2 straight hours, and we didn't come across a single rock. That is an issue, but it is an issue that the devs are completely aware about. I do want to remind you guys that at the time of recording this, which is on the evening of June 9th, it is now in the early mornings of June 10th, they were taking the day off, a very well-deserved day off, may I add. So they weren't making any fixes or anything at that point. They have been working nonstop, putting out tons of hot fixes since the day of release. And I will remind you guys that they are a very small team. We're not talking about a AAA development studio. It's not like they have hundreds of employees. It's a very small handful of people that's working on this game currently. And they're working pretty much out of pocket at the moment. So give them some slack. Be nice to them. Help support them. Try to be nice in the forums, guys. I know there's issues, but the quicker we are to reporting the bugs, the quicker they are to get the bugs fixed. Negative feedback is not going to help them further the game along, okay? It's just going to cause problems. And I know it's extremely easy to get frustrated at the game. I've got frustrated a few times myself, but you just got to remember, it is an early access title. It's going to have bugs. I have never in my life, as a YouTuber or a gamer alike, I have never played an early access title that was bug-free or even close to bug-free on first release. Sometimes not even within the first couple months of it being released. Okay, so keep that in mind. So that is an issue. They are going to work on it. I realize it almost makes it unplayable at the moment. It was really frustrating for us for them first 2 hours to get on that game, and we couldn't do nothing. We couldn't make a claim flag. We couldn't even make a bed to spawn in because we didn't have any iron or nothing. So it was bad. Also, when the rocks do spawn, a lot of you are having issues, myself included, with the rock particles disappearing too quickly. Now, I'm pretty sure that is being done the exact same way as the wood from the trees is being done. When you do axe at a tree, you get 6 logs, regardless how many times you hit it. It's going to run out of resources. 6 is the max. It's the same thing with the rocks. Now, what we've experienced, and the devs are welcome to comment and let us know exactly what it is they have programmed it for, but it appears that there is a random set amount of rocks and ores that you're going to get from each resource node. Once you hit that predetermined amount, it doesn't matter how many rocks are remaining. They're pretty much just mesh textures at that point. You're not going to be able to pick the rest of it up. So even though it is disappearing quickly, until you're getting that confirmation sound that you're picking it up and you see on your chat bar that you are picking the ore up, you're not actually missing out on any of the rocks. So pay attention to that next time. When you bust a rock and it explodes into pieces like it normally does, pay attention to it and see as it's disappearing if you're actually picking those particles up. Because if it's not showing up on your chat menu, you've already hit your amount. So you're not losing any resources at that point. But that is something, hopefully, that they can work on to where only the particles you can pick up drop, or they disappear as soon as you've already picked up your max amount. Either one of those would work out fine, and I'm sure nobody would have a problem with that. Another problem is being reported. I see a lot in the forums about the game crashing a desktop. Now, being most of us on here are, more than average PC users ourselves, there's not really a lot that I can really touch base with when it comes to a game crashing a desktop. That could literally be hundreds of issues. That could be a graphics card issue. That could be a Windows issue. That could be a DirectX issue. That could be anything. I mean, unfortunately, that's just hard to touch base on because out of all the reports that I've seen people actually put on there, they're all different. Some people are reporting immediate crashes. Some people are reporting hangs in the menu. Some people are reporting crashes once they're in the game. Guys, that could be various things. That could be anything from DirectX failing to load to your graphics card overheating to, just anything. Dark, you're a pretty avid computer user. I'm sure you would tend to agree with that, right?
It's really hard to track stuff like that down, especially when there's no error logs.
Mm-hmm. Now, some of them say that they are getting an error log, but, again, it's kind of hard to even track that specific error log unless you know exactly where you're supposed to look, right?
Well, I mean, if they can find any errors, take screenshots of the errors. If you happen to get any like actual text, make sure to grab all of it, throw it on the forums. The more information that you can see about what's causing the crash, the more likely it is that the devs are able to figure out what's going on in reality.
The only crashes that I have experienced have been basically internet burps. I've crashed out and come right back in. So it's not either been a client side or server side problem.
Yeah, I've noticed that myself. The only time I've really noticed it to be an issue is if I'm standing still for a predetermined amount of time, the game will like automatically log me out and attempt to take me back to the menu, and I'll get that whole lingering and connection issue going on. I don't know. I think that's pretty much intended. Now, don't quote me on it, but I believe it is to prevent a lot of server lag and stuff like that. So if someone's just randomly just standing there and they're not actually playing the game, it'll automatically log you out to ease the load on the servers. Now, if
All
it's
MMOs
straight,
do that.
yeah, it's a pretty common feature. But as to if it's just straight crashing the moment you come in the game, or if you're actively doing something and it crashes, that's what we're talking about. I mean, it could be so many different issues. So hopefully we can get that kind of stuff worked out too, because I know from experience that it's a pain to download a game, be excited for it, and you can't even play it. I've had that happen before, so I feel your pain.
Make sure that you're checking your system requirements. I mean, a lot of people will buy a game expecting to be able to play on it and never check the system requirements, and they just don't have it to run the game.
This is true. I've seen a few people say that they've got higher end systems and stuff, and they're getting FPS lag and stuff like that. Again, that could be drivers. That can be, I mean, any type of issue. I myself, I have not had a problem. I have an i7 4771. And
Correct.
I have the GTX EVGA version, the 780 Ti. And I'm getting about 140 frames a second. And the thing you guys got to remember is this game is nowhere even close to being optimized. I mean, they probably won't even work on optimization until they're close to beta, if not into beta. Now, I might be wrong. They might work on it in bits and pieces as the game's getting developed. But, I mean, that's really up to them. Usually optimization is held until closer to the end of development.
And we do know from running the files on the server that even though it's not fully optimized, it's optimized well anyway. So people shouldn't be seeing a lot of problems that are game caused, I don't think.
Yeah. Another thing that you guys are have an issue with, which we are experiencing the exact same issue. I don't know if this was intended. Of course, I'm sure it's not intended this way. But the dinosaur spawn rate, it seems that the spawn rate is set extremely low. Now, I don't know if they were experimenting with it and they changed the spawn rate itself, or if it's something that one of the hot fixes kind of broke. I don't know.
In one of the hot fixes, they did lower it, but I think the factor was a little bit too much.
Okay. Well, it could be that, or it could be what I'm thinking. It might just be the fact that one of the hot fixes might have messed with that just a little bit, and it got lower more than they intended. But fear not. The devs are, at the time of this podcast, the devs are probably back at work doing hot fixes as we speak. So chances are, as you're watching this podcast, you could have either received a hot fix or they could be really hard at work working on that hot fix right now. So that's the good news. Other people are complaining that there is no specific log out of the game. I have seen a few posts where people were trying to Control-Alt-Delete and end the process. That is probably the absolute worst way that you can end the game, because that will leave additional running processes in your task manager, because I have seen some posts like that before. Right now, the best way you could possibly exit this game at this moment is Alt F4. A lot of people know about Alt F4, but sometimes people don't, okay? So, you know, this isn't a trolling thing. This isn't who's better at computers than the other. Some people are not aware of that command. Alt F4 will immediately exit the current process that you are running. So if you are in game and you want to close out of the game quickly, just hit Alt F4 and that will close all related tasks to that game. So that way you don't have anything else running. That will prevent you from having to control Alt Delete.
They have put the log out to lobby in on the
log out to
side.
lobby is in there, but I've still seen myself that sometimes you will linger in that whole connecting
Yeah,
issue
you have
thing.
to, after you get to the lobby, you have to use Alt F4, but going to the lobby has made sure that I haven't lost stuff, so that's been good. I go to the lobby first and then Alt F4.
Okay. I've never lost anything, but speaking of lost, there is an issue right now that if you log out of the game and you have stuff in your furnace or if you have stuff in your crafting table, it will disappear. Okay. Again, that's a bug. That is something that they're going to get worked on, but just keep in mind, do not exit the game and have stuff in your furnace or in your crafting table right now because it is broken. It will make your items disappear. So save yourself a lot of rage and heartache and make sure your stuff's in your inventory before you log out. That's not all the bugs, of course, but that's pretty much most of the newer bugs that I've been getting reports on and that I've been reading about. Now we're going to move on to some topics that we're going to talk about real quick, such as a new dedicated server for Beast of Prey. And that new dedicated server is being hosted by Fiber Servers. Fiber Servers is the same company that hosts the FatPlanetLP's private Minecraft, hosts their 7 Days to Die, and all kinds of other stuff. It's a great company, and I know that for a fact because our own Pam is one of the owners of it. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Let me
Pam?
get my mic. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah, we're a dedicated server provider. We provide dedicated servers for 7 Days to Die players, and we're looking forward to providing support for Beasts of Prey. We put up a U.S. server. If there's a need for a community server in Europe, we will be doing that too. And we'll be providing a server for Fat Planet to be able to do his recordings on and that sort of thing. And hopefully eventually we'll be able to provide private dedicated servers to anyone who wants one.
So basically what Pam is telling you is some pretty cool stuff. There is going to be a public server. It's actually up right now, but I haven't really been playing on it because of the whole rock issue. It seems like the rock issue is a little bit less of an issue on private servers just because of the less amount of people that are playing on them. But once that rock issue gets fixed, I will be playing on an actual public server. So all of my LPs and stuff like that, or at least my LP series, is going to be switched to that. So you guys will have the opportunity, if you own Beast of Prey, if you are new to my channel and you're watching this on the actual forums or on the videos tab of Beast of Prey, feel free to come in. I will be giving you the IP address of that server right now. It'll come across the screen. Don't fear, you don't have to pause the video or anything because it's also going to be in the description. So if you are, well, no, on Steam, it shows the description on Steam too. So just go ahead and copy the IP itself. There is going to be a link to the actual post to the server itself. I would highly suggest that you keep that post around because that is going to be the go-to place that you need to go to in case the server's down. It'll be updated. If there's any updates going on with the server that's going to keep it down for a second, such as new hot fixes or updates to the game, of course, you know, the server is going to have to be brought down for that to be applied. When that happens, the post will be updated and I'll let you guys know when that process is completed. So be sure to keep an eye on that. But everybody is welcome to join it. You know, feel free to. You know, I might run across you in the game while I'm recording, and you might become part of the episode. You never know. So everybody is welcome to join that. Just check out the link in the description, and let's try to make that one of the most popular servers for Beast of Prey. That'd be pretty awesome. Another thing that we wanted to talk about is it appears that there's kind of some issues going on with trees at the moment. Now, it's not a game-breaking issue, but I have noticed that it appears that some of the trees are actually on the client side. Now, what makes me think that is there are some people that will mine a tree, and to me, it's not there. I literally see logs appearing from the ground and dropping, which is kind of weird. It's kind of a scary thing to see, actually. We built a base the other day, and in the middle of our concrete foundations, a tree just kind of grew up when I logged back on right in the middle of our base, and I was the only one that could see it. Dread Pirate or Dark, nobody else could see it. And I guess a little bit later, you guys logged on at a later time, and do you see that tree now, Dark?
I did not, but Dread was able to see it after he logged on.
Yeah, I did
Okay.
see it earlier, and I was like, okay, there's a tree in the middle of the base. Nice.
I didn't
Okay.
see a tree in the middle of the base when I went on. So there
See,
was
So yeah, then it has to be client side with specific spawn points, something like that.
Okay. So yeah, hopefully once the game's a little bit more optimized, not like the later on optimized we talked about, but hopefully they'll get that all server side. I'm sure a lot of stuff is being client side right now to ease the stress on the servers while the game is being developed, because again, there are bugs. It's not really optimized at the moment, so that's probably why. But it'll be nice once everything's moved server side at that point. Now, speaking of client and server side, a lot of you are aware, and some of you might not be aware, that the day-night cycle was originally on the client side itself. So a lot of people would be able to log in, and it would be brand new, fresh morning day, and it could be in the middle of the night for somebody else. That is no longer the case. The day-night cycle is now 100% controlled by the server, which is why you will notice that when you join an actual server, the night cycle is like an hour and a half long. Little long. Now, I don't even think the day is that long. I think a day is only like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a day is only like a half hour, isn't it? Anybody?
That's what it feels
45
like.
minutes.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Okay,
I
so
think when we planned
definitely
it was 45 minutes.
45 minutes per day. Okay. Well, see, so they'll need to get that cycle kind of fixed, devs. So, whenever you get a free chance, haha, I know. It would be nice to have a day-night cycle that's, 50-50. Please forgive me, guys. In the middle of recording this, I'm not really feeling well. I'm on pain meds right now. I got a problem with my left ear, so it's really, really messing with me. I'm literally like burning up at this moment, so I'm trying to keep concentrated. I'm feeling really sick right now, but I'm gonna try to hurry up and finish this podcast for you guys. So yeah, hopefully the day-night cycle is going to get fixed. But right now, since the night cycle is on the server side and it is going to stay that way, it would be nice to have some sort of a light source. Now, I'm sure the devs probably have plans for a light source at some point. We did talk about on the last podcast for base defenses like spotlights and torches and stuff like that. Now it's pretty apparent that we're going to need that because nighttime can get really, really dark. So it would be pretty cool to see a light source get implemented as soon as you guys can feasibly do it. Also, bed placement. It's still a bug that the bed can only be placed on the small house right now. It would be really nice in the future. I know you have plans on doing beds like in the medium-sized house and stuff like that. You probably already have plans for it in the future itself, but I think bed placement on platforms should be allowed too. Since we are allowed to actually build the wooden platforms with the walls and pretty much create like our own houses, it would be a nice feature to be able to place a bed down on that platform as well. I could see why you wouldn't want to place it down, say, anywhere on the ground, because then that could really be a trolling feature. You know, you go to somebody's base, you put a bed down right outside of it, and you're constantly spawning there. I could see where that would be used that way. But at least on the platforms, that will prevent that from happening, and people can, put their bed wherever they want, instead of being forced to build an actual small house. Also, and I believe this is the last topic that we have right now, some people have been asking, how can you contact the developers. How can you report bugs and stuff like that? Well, the easiest way to report bugs at this current moment is right here in the Beasts of Prey forums. Unless, of course, you're watching on YouTube, then it would be at the Beasts of Prey forums. There is a support tab on the right-hand side for you to submit bug reports. I did see a post recently. Somebody had an issue that they didn't want actually exploited, and they asked the question. Now, I'm really saying this because not everybody reads every single post. So if you are interested in helping the game and you want to submit bug reports or a really big game-breaking feature that you want to get to the devs' attention immediately, then you're going to email support@beastofprey.com. That description is also going to be in the bottom of the video in the description. Okay, so that way I'll list the email for the developers below in the About section in the video. I will also give you the link to the Steam post for the fiber server, dedicated server for Beasts of Prey, the one I will be recording on, and I will also give the direct IP address for that server too. Does anybody else have anything to say before the end of this podcast? Anything you're excited about, or anything Beasts of Prey related? Anything?
I'm excited for that public server. I think that's the one thing I'm really, really excited for, is once we have that up and going and the rock issue is fixed, because that really stops us from being able to build the foundations and everything we need.
I am too. I'm really happy. I think it's going to be really fun.
We may need to pop in, since there was some files updated, so the server was restarted, and check and see, since more people have been on playing. But I noticed we were getting more rock spawns on the
Definitely.
on the private one we were testing, so we may have more on public now.
Okay, that's definitely something we can do. I really look forward to being able to play with you guys, whether you're going to be friend or enemy. Of course, you really can't be much of an enemy right now. I mean, there's not a lot of PvP, but it's there. But either way, it's going to be a pleasure. So as soon as that rock feature is fixed, you will see me on the server that is going to be in the About section below. So hopefully I will see you guys really soon. And until the next time, or the next podcast, I will see you guys next time. You guys take care. Thanks for watching.